Mishna Yomi, Masechet, Perek Avot, Masechet Avot, Perek, Gimel, Mishna, Vav, and Zayin, 6 and 7. Rabbi Chalafta ben Dosa ish Kfar Chania omer. Chalafta ben Dosa, right, the leader of Kfar Chania, he comes and he says, Asara sheyoshvim v'oskim b'Torah, Shechina shruya b'nehem. When you have 10 people sitting together and learning Torah, there's the Shechina, Shneimar, Elohim nitza badatel. Uminayin afilu chamisha, you know that if you know you're going to be 5, Shneimar v'agudato eretz yisadah. Right? And therefore it's talking about a bundle. So Naguda usually is talking about 5 people. Right? Because a person can bundle things together by grasping them in his hand. He's got 5 fingers, so therefore it's going to be 5. Uminayin afilu shlosha. How do you know even 3 people learning Torah? Shneimar bekerev Elohim yishpot. We're talking about a judgment. Remember that the minimum of a court is 3. We're not talking about capital punishments, right? Uminayin afilu shnaim, right? Uminayin, and how do we know even 2 people? Shneimar aznid beru yireh Hashem ish el reu vayakshev Hashem yishma. So you have even for 2 people, right? Then those who fear Hashem, one man to another, and Hashem is going to pay attention to him. Uminayin afilu echad. How do you know even 1 person? Shneimar bechol makom asher azkir Hashem yavolecha velachticha. So therefore you also have it. So therefore you have all the different numbers, right, in coming. So it means even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu is even going to give it to you 1, obviously the more people, the stronger that it is, right? So therefore, the greater the divine presence. And that's why it lists the different numbers. Meaning, if I have a choice between 1 and 2, it's always better 2. If I have a choice between 2 and 3, always better 3. If I have 3 and 5, 3 and 5 is always better than 3. And then 10 and 5, obviously 10 is going to be the best. Meaning that each one, even though you have it, it's always better, right? Why? Because you always, by the way, it's brought down that when you want to say Birkat Levana, let's say you're by yourself. And you want to say Birkat, you want to come and you want to do, right? You want to do Birkat al-Levana, right? So therefore, what you're supposed to do is, if you don't do it with 10 people, try to do it at least with 3. Again, this is all the inyan. That means it's always better, right, that you have a group, right? Again, the better you continue going, but the more people, the better that it is. But minimum, you should have 3. Okay, fine. Yes, 100%. You're always with Hashem. Mishna Zayin. Okay? Rabbi Elazar ish bar Tota Omer. Rabbi Elazar ish bar Tota comes and he says, Ten lo mishelo. Give HaKadosh Baruch Hu what's his. Right? Because when you give from yourself, right, in your possessions, she'ata v'shelcha shelo, because really, be'emet, everything belongs to him. V'chem David Omer, and that's what it means. Ki mimecha hakol, right? Because from you it's everything. U'miyadecha natanu lach. And from your hand, right, we have given to you. Rabbi Yaakov says, Hamalech baderech v'shoneh. If someone is traveling on the road and studying Torah, umafsik b'mishnato, and he stops his learning and he says, Mana eilanze, mana enizeh. Yeah, how beautiful is the tree? How beautiful is the plowed row? Right? So he says, Ma'aleh alav hakatuv, ki'ilu mitchayev nasho. It's as if the person right now is going to be liable for putting his life in danger. Why? Because again, one more time, if a person right now is going to be protected, yeah. Oh, 1 second. Again, when you're speaking to Hashem, right, it's a chutzpah to speak about something which has nothing to do with that, which means you're speaking to the king. If you're speaking to the king, I'm not going to speak about his, a servant. You understand? You want to speak directly to the king. When you're learning Torah, you're speaking directly to Hashem. When you come and you start speaking to something else, it's a busha. You understand? It's something mundane that has nothing to do with it. You understand? So imagine right now you coming and you're speaking one-on-one with Hashem. And all of a sudden you say, by the way, your butler, he's very handsome. Say, you're speaking to the king. What do I care about now, the butler? You understand? Well, that's so the exact same thing. At the end of the day, when a person is right now speaking to Hashem, which means he's directly speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he should not put any importance whatsoever, right, in anything else other than that. So therefore, he's putting his life in danger. We already mentioned, if you remember, that when a person comes and he's learning Torah, he gets protection. So now the fact that now he's going to come and see these things, right? Now he's taking away that protection, right? Why? Because he was the one that did it. So since he's the one that did it, he gets into trouble because of that.